Hello, everyone. Tonight is a very special night, isn't it? It is New Year's Eve. Okay. And although 2020 has been one of the most detestable years of all the year, and chances are that once we hit midnight, things could happen. It's like, my kids were like, oh, yeah, it'll turn like midnight and, some kind of earthquake or something. But for now, despite everything that's going on, we have a chance to have some kind of reprieve and to really enjoy each other's company while we can, right? So, tonight's the night. Tonight is New Year's Eve. It's the chance for new beginnings. And it seems that the world is changing right now, isn't it? And it's changing big. It's changing every day. And it's not just in the news, it's in our hearts, it's in our minds. And okay, yeah, I had a little bit of coffee tonight because I had to. I'm like pretty late, but that's cool. My daughter makes the best cup of coffee like ever. My two sons, they decided to go and hang out tonight and do the fireworks. And you're probably going to hear fireworks going off in the background. It's pretty loud. It's pretty amazing. It's really fired up. You know what I mean? That's one thing that we know how to do around here. I don't know about the rest of the world. Y'all educate me, but we know how to go finish a year with a bang, right? So go ahead and say hi. Go ahead. Say hello. That's not going to hurt, right? Okay. So, what do we have to talk about? Like everything, anything, and nothing at all. Okay. I mean, it's like, Five Flames. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. Hey, Angel. Oh, I'm going to tell you, I love this guy. Five Flames. Ugh. Oh, man, he's awesome. I'm so glad you're here, sweetheart. Okay. So, we got 5 people, 1 like. We're just getting started. You drank too much wine. How many others out there? I've been drinking some wine, having some vodka, I imagine, right? Just kind of partying it up for the new year. I get it. We don't know how much time we really have left to just really let go, and there's been so much stress that I can't really blame anybody. This is a night to celebrate, and it's really something we're doing all together in a way. There's spirit about us. There's spirit that just rises above in humanity, even especially in the darkest times. All right. So we're going to ring in the New Year's tonight. Sorry, you, Angel. You're a doll. I bet I made you blush. But I did. Okay. All right. So we're just going to go over some few topics. His return is here. Awesome. Okay. All right. Are y'all having a good night? I mean, are y'all staying at home, or are you listening or watching the fireworks? Tell me what's going on in your area of the neighborhood, okay? But while we're here, let's just go ahead and at least find something to talk about. And I do, always do. I was kind of starting to look over near-death experiences, which a lot of people have had. And I don't know about tonight necessarily talking about them, but it definitely is something that I want to get into the future with everyone. Rodney Johnson, there you go. I'm so glad to see you, Rodney. Rejoice in Jesus. See, this is a year, anything can happen when you have Jesus. When we get down on our knees, when the world brings us to our knees, that's when we reach up and we just keep praising God. And no matter what year it is, it's our Lord's year. And the tougher things get, the more apt we are to having miracles. Hello, Christy. I'm so glad you made it tonight. That's wonderful. I kind of wondered how many people might be here, this late at night, but there's a good possibility with it. Yes, smash that like button. I knew there was a good possibility with it being, New Year's Eve. So we're going to be sort of talking about things, but we're also sort of going to be just having a good time. Right? And you know what they say? When you're with somebody on New Year's Eve and New Year's, then you're going to be with them the rest of the year. So, we might, I mean, it's just a saying, but I always kind of like to think of that fondly, right? Okay, so, right, what has been in the news lately, right? It's been like kind of crazy. I was hearing some really sad news about police officers getting attacked because they're asking people to put on their masks, and people aren't really having that anymore. And I'll be honest, around where I'm at, I would say 98% of the people that I see around my area, they're not wearing masks anymore in our public places. They just aren't having any more of it. Some people are, and maybe they've got issues with their health. We don't know. But the rest of us that feel like A, it's our choice to go down if we want to, or B, we feel fine. That's our choice. We should have that. And it's an open rebellion coming, because that's happening right now, because we see this totalitarian issue. And let's just be honest, when it comes to New Year's and Independence Day especially happened because our ancestors decided to stand up against oppression by the government, and they taught us pretty well. Okay. All right. Happy New Year. Says Happy New Year to you, Christy. Happy New Year to all of you. In my area, it's going to be New Year's in 23 minutes. All right. Oh, these are definitely fireworks so far. Can y'all hear them? Can you hear the fireworks going on? Thank you, Adrian. I'm so glad to see you too. Angel. Oh, I love Paul and Adrian, y'all. They've got this channel. It's the News That Matters channel. So if y'all ever want to check them out. And Paul is really getting into his music right now. And, so y'all might want to check that out. All right. It's definitely not guns. I mean, but it wouldn't be unusual to have guns around here going off. I mean, we're in Texas, right? It's nothing. I mean, we have those all the time, but definitely it's fireworks this time. Exactly, Rodney. It's Texas. I mean, unless we hear demands or fire trucks and police officers, we're not really going to get scared. I mean, this isn't something that surprises us, but can y'all hear that? I mean, it's pretty loud, right? Okay, well, let's go ahead and get into some of this news since everybody's starting to come in. I love all the likes, and I'm so glad you guys are here. All right. Okay, some of you might have already started getting in your stimulus checks. A lot of you would have gotten it direct deposit already as of yesterday, actually, on your checks, which is great because the first is right around the corner. Am I right? And so anybody that can't pay their rent can now, unless it's coming in the mail. All right. So if you need to do a change of address, I would do that quickly. It was weird because in my area, the change of address forms, they didn't have any. They had to make copies of it. So I don't know why the post office wasn't producing the usual change of address forms. So that kind of caught my attention. It's like, why aren't these forms being printed out? You can't just, not where I'm at. We had to fill it out and bring it up to the desk. Quite out here in the booth. 2000. Well, I mean, if it's quiet out there, I'm hoping you can hear the explosions going on in my area. It's pretty loud right here. That's great. We're not allowed to pop fireworks here in the RV park, but the people that sell hay next door, oh, they're going nuts. It's awesome. Okay. We can get evicted, but not our neighbors. So it's pretty great. Saying we owed $900. Oh my God. Ooh, no. Hey, Strumming, you made it too. That's great. Happy New Year, sweetie. I'm so glad to see you. Yeah, the census, Rodney, they were doing that, I think, last summer around here. Okay, so we got this stimulus. Oh, I just hit my computer, but we had the stimulus. It's just hitting, and I know it's not what everybody really wanted, and I know that we're not really pleased with the money going to places that it really shouldn't go to. Okay, which is building on this anger that Americans are having over the incompetency of our government. Okay, it's just getting worse. Okay. So, another thing I wanted to bring up was California's plan to stalk their citizens even after they flee. Like there was this whole huge article from WSJ Opinion, right? And okay, this is crazy. Okay, the title of this is A California Plan to Chase Away the Rich, Then Keep Stalking Them. A proposed, it's not gone through yet, but if you Californians don't get on this quick, you are about to get it good. A proposed wealth tax would apply for a decade to anyone who spends 60 days in the state in a single year. Okay, now let me tell you something. When I go to file taxes, I can't claim anyone unless they've lived in my house for 6 months at the minimum, and I can only claim them for that year. But this proposed tax law, because saying if you're here for 60 days, we're going to tax you for the next 10 years. How do you like that? So after they ruined their own state, after they got everybody sitting on their streets with tents, everybody else is fled, they don't have the revenue or the power that they did. So they're trying to pass this law that even if you've gone to another state like Texas, that you're going to still pay taxes to California, and you're going to pay taxes to the state you live in now for 10 years. Okay. That's stalking. And I'll tell you right now, y'all need to get on top of that. Okay. Let's look at the comments for just a second. Rodney says, there's going to be a clean America. A sweep is coming. Trump is staying in power. Well, we'll see when that's all said and done. Maybe Trump stays, maybe don't. We don't know. But, it's really an iffy time, which is why, if we can celebrate now and have some kind of chance to just let off some of that anxiety that I know we're all feeling. And, it's a perfect night to do that, right? 10 years, no wonder yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why this article is saying, they're going to chase everybody away, but then they're going to keep stalking them. Okay. The article says California's legislature is considering a wealth tax on residents, part-year residents, and any person who spends more than 60 days inside the state borders in a single year. Even those who move out of state would continue to be subject to the tax for a decade. A provision that calls to mind the Eagles' famous Hotel California lyric, "You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave." The California Constitution probably allows a statewide wealth tax on residents, but any effort to create a tax capable of reaching across state borders is likely to run afoul of the U.S. Constitution, and it should. Okay? Taxing someone who spends only 60 days in the state in any single year and extending that tax over an ensuing decade would be something new under the sun and wrong. Okay. Each year, this tax net would gather up a new crop of taxpayers for the next decade. See, that just tells me that they're getting desperate. They know they screwed up. And what's worse is the people that voted for these people in office in California are running off to our states and trying to spread their agenda with us. I'm like, no. If you messed up and failed your own state, don't come here telling me what we need to be doing here. Don't come here shaming us. You messed up. You either lay in the bed you made or you stand up and do something about it. But don't come here telling me what I should be doing. Not in my state. Okay, we elected Ted Cruz. We got it. We got what we need. Okay, we got sense. All right. Oh, you're hearing fire trucks where you're at, Christy? Hello, Rogue Krishna. I'm so glad to see you here too. Very glad. We got 9 people, 6 likes. We're doing good. It's a party, y'all. So, in this way, social gathering, in the way we're doing it, they can't say nothing. We're just having a good time. Everybody, see, we know it's the end times, don't we? We do. But there are people like me out there. It's like, if we're going to go down in a bang. We're going to go with a bang. All right. Just like New Year's Eve, we're going to party like it's 1999. I know I don't have a good voice, right? Party like it's 19. Anyway. Okay. So, the rest of this article, it says, under California tax law, there is no distinction between a non-resident from Minnesota and a non-resident from Dubai. Assembly Bill 2088 proposes calculating the wealth tax based on current worldwide net worth each December 31st. For part year and temporary residents, the tax would be proportionate and therefore would include wealth earned, inherited, or obtained through gifts or estates long before and long after the state. Sounds lovely, don't it? The proposed wealth tax would fall on star high school or college athlete who grows up in California but becomes a wealthy professional in another state after graduation. Y'all hear this? It would grab a scientist who developed a drug to cure cancer years after leaving California, a grandchild who spent a single summer surfing in Southern California would be subject to the tax. It would include anyone returning home to a foreign country after 60 days in California. Doesn't that sound wonderful? That's just desperate right there. You've got a bunch of homeless people on your street that you're not helping, and you want to tax anybody who walks in your state. How about nobody walks in your state after this? California's on my do not travel list. I don't know about y'all. Thank you, baby. Thank you, Five Flames. Cousins from Canada. That's right. Brothers and sisters. Canada, y'all are. It is a new decade. That's right. We're starting it out right. See, it's not legal yet, which is why we need to get the word out. Because if a lot of people don't know that they're working on doing this, then they're going to pass this, So we really have to get the word out, okay? Because it's not just going to affect Californians. It's going to affect anybody who decides to go there for just a minute, and that's not okay. Okay, so that's why we go and we have these talks. Alrighty, so we're going to keep going with, what in the world? Oh, okay, good. I just, when you're trying to read an article and something like blips over the page. Okay, the authors of the bill estimate the wealth tax will provide Sacramento $7.5 billion in additional revenue every year. See, that greed. Another proposal to increase the top state income tax rate to 16.8% would annually raise another $6.8 billion. They're just milking it. They're milking it. Today, California's wealthiest 1% pay approximately 46% of total state income tax. So if they're fleeing, they're losing that revenue, which is why they would have to come up with something shisty like this. Because when you file your taxes, there's no reason why you should have to pay taxes for 2 different states, and one, of course, that you don't even live in. Adding to the wealth tax to individual taxes and including those taxpayers who have abandoned California, the combination of the two proposals would have 1% of the state's population paying about 53% of individual taxes. California has enough financial woes for an entire large nation. Yeah, they do. They're just trying to throw it up all over us. Most are of its own making, including unfulfillable public pension promises and a vast social safety net beyond the capacity of California's workers to fund. Lovely. So the legislature looks to the wealthiest Californians because they don't know how to budget. They just spend and spend and spend because they're so spoiled. They don't know how to say, you know what, maybe we shouldn't do that. They're just so entitled. They just keep reaching into our pockets and they keep printing that money like it's going out of style, right? Like we're their little slaves. And they wonder why people are starting to rebel. Okay. We have 10 minutes in my area till the first of the year. Okay, let's look at a few of these comments. Okay, we got 8 people, 7 likes. That's great. On a Mission is here. Hello. Okay. Hugs to you. Hugs to all of you. Buy more Bibles and build a wall of the Word. Yep. We're sneezing and coughing here and hope it is COVID. I hope not too. Christy, I'm telling you, get you some vitamin C. You can even get it at the Dollar General, but it really does a number on colds and flus and COVID. I'm telling you. Go ahead and get that. You'll feel so much better, so much quicker. All right. Okay. So if this little commercial, okay, good. It says even at 0.4%, there are eye-popping new levels of actual tax. Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg would face a first-year tax of approximately $400 million. So it looks like he's being targeted. If he moved out of state immediately, his total wealth tax over the subsequent decade would be another $2 billion. If he remained in California, but you know, he earns what he earns. Everybody, why you got to be eyeballing people, right? It was supposed to be the American dream, not the American, slavery. It's not supposed to be like that. Oh my goodness, Trent's here too. I'm so glad to see you. That's wonderful. We got 8 people here, 8 likes. We're doing great. Yeah, we got a little bit of sneezing, coughing around here, but nobody's got COVID. We're just, the winter. And there was so many comments about how it just seemed like the flu season disappeared because everything is being put under the umbrella of CV-19. Okay. And then we've got these new strains coming in, right? They knew they couldn't keep up with it. They knew all they could do was really slow it down. So since they couldn't stop it, it's like, why are you shutting down our country? I think that we should, as citizens, have a right to make our own decisions as to the risk that we individually should be able to take. And I still stand by my opinion that every city in every state should start a signature petition to effectively protest the VAC that's coming into your area. Okay. I really think, they're probably partying pretty hard. It's okay. It's okay. We're having our own party here. Metsitsa pizza sauce. Happy New Year. I drink a lot of rum. We're really glad to have you here. Awesome. Okay. All right. So besides this whole California thing, we've had some other interesting news stories starting to pop up, and that is rogue wild animals starting to attack people. Okay. And I had heard, I cannot remember who it was from, a few months ago saying that pets would start attacking people. And now the stories are starting to come out, right? And for one, we're seeing, now this started a year ago. I saw that the squirrels were starting to get kind of aggravated a year ago. And then a few days ago, another story came out that the squirrels were trying to eat people. They're attacking people in New York. And then you've got feral pig attacks in Puerto Rico. And I heard there might be something else going on in California too with some animals. I can't really remember what that was. My memory's so bad anyway. But it also turns out that there's a new wave of locusts in Kenya. So when you start thinking about these end time signs, the earthquakes and everything, the famine, the droughts and pestilence, food shortages, the freak weather, the way people are acting, everything just really falls in line. It's like the news headlines are really reflecting Bible prophecy at this point, which is great in a way because it tells you that God is in control. He definitely told us about this a really long time ago. It was so weird. I was feeling kind of sad the last couple of days, and I really couldn't explain it, but I just kind of started praying, and I don't know, it was really weird, but I started hearing the words of a song. It was like, hold on to me, baby. I'm not a great singer, but I just heard those words and I was like, I'm holding on. Texas was shaking earlier. Absolutely right, Rodney. We actually got a 4.0 earthquake in West Texas today, which is actually a pretty high earthquake, and it wasn't exactly in the volcanic region, the Pecos volcanic region. It was a little bit north and east of. Hey, Ma, coming through to tune in. I'm gonna show that comment. Yeah. Okay, my spelling is. We're not worried about spelling Five Flames. Nobody cares about spelling. That's okay. Oh my goodness, 3 minutes till midnight. I'm so excited. I'm so glad to have every one of you here tonight. Oh, can you hear the fireworks? I don't know if y'all can hear them. It's like really loud. It's amazing. It's like a big party just for us. Okay. Okay. One thing that I really did like in the news today for some positive news is that Dabu77 did report that a Washington sheriff, and we all got to give it up for this guy for real. He's standing up for a restaurant facing closure. And I'm noticing more and more that people are remembering that the oaths that they took, they weren't here to be totalitarian governments. They were here to serve the people. Okay, good, bad, and the ugly. And this is ridiculous. Okay. Texas had a bunch of earthquakes, but the thing is that USGS hasn't been really reporting the earthquakes that we've really been having for a while now. And a few years ago, I put out some videos on the Gulf of Mexico, right? And it was a really strange thing for everybody, including myself involved, because I'd grown up on the coast, and we know that we have fault lines under the Gulf of Mexico, and where there are fault lines, there are volcanoes. We knew that there are volcanoes in the Gulf of Mexico. So when that temperature rise happened that day, I was wondering if we were having an interruption. But as of that moment, where we usually would have on this one particular website, they would report the quakes going on in the Gulf of Mexico. As of that moment, a few years ago, they never reported another quake in the Gulf of Mexico again. And now, okay, people are aware that we do have volcanoes. Anytime you have fault lines, you have volcanoes. And we have fault lines in the Gulf of Mexico. Anybody that works on a rig, and you can believe anybody from the Gulf Coast like I am that's around these rig workers, we know. Okay, so the fact that they're not reporting any quakes at all, that's not a good sign. And they don't report. Okay, there's somebody reporting that we had 50,000 quakes in Antarctica in 3 months. That didn't show up on USGS. 3 times 4.0. We can kind of look at that right now. I mean, we had Croatia had a devastating earthquake going on yesterday, and it looks like in the last hour that Stanley, Idaho had a 3.9. Let's just see. Okay, so I mean, I want to point out the fact that Texas shouldn't be having earthquakes, but we do. After we had that 4.0, we had an aftershock of a 2.6 in Stanton, Texas. And then the usual earthquake that goes on every day in the west side of Texas. This one's Mentone, Texas, 2.6. But if we want to do a 30-day 2.5 or higher, you look in Texas, and I'm telling you, we should not be having this many earthquakes. Like a few years ago, we might be able to report 5 a month. It's midnight. Happy New Year, everybody. I caught it on time. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. We did this. We did it. We're together. We did it. Happy New Year. Yeah.
I'm going to be 19 next year.
Oh, girl, don't try to hurt me. She says she's going to be 19. Don't. No, you're not. No, you're not. My children try to get too old. Okay, but anyway, this earthquake map says that just in the last 28 days, we've had 24 earthquakes, 23 or so in Texas. I'm telling you, that's not normal. It's not okay. Happy New Year, everybody. Everybody's cheer. That's wonderful. It's 12:01. We rang it in together. All right. Hey. Okay, I didn't know it looks like my live stream was quitting on me. Okay, and another thing I wanted to talk about was Kamala Harris, our possible future vice president. Showed that she supposedly got her Moderna shot recently, and at least this time they were able to show her getting some kind of injection without the nurse standing completely in the way. We still didn't see them load the syringe from the vial, so we don't know what they're getting. We don't know. But the miracle potion's coming to a town near you soon. Okay, CD Man A. Holmes says Dutch Sense is the guy's name of his site that does earthquakes. He does, and he's really good at predicting those ahead of time. He really is. And there's somebody else, too, that keeps anticipating a 7.0 in California pretty soon. You know, and so here's the thing. This year coming up, this year we're stepping into as of 2 minutes ago. Don't even think for a minute that it's not going to be insane. It will. I want you to get your armor on. You know, something tells me that in a way we've always had that fight in us. We've always had this idea, this somehow knowing that one day we were going to have to step up. And whatever this year brings, we're going to do it. Okay, we're going to go down one way or the other. And it makes me sad to hear that there are cops being attacked for being, trying to just tell people to put on their masks. And at the same time, I can understand the frustration of the people that are just sick and tired of the oppression. Oh, Five Flames. That's a guy I'd marry, y'all. You're ready? That's good. That's good. You know, when you realize you ain't got nothing left to lose, when you get pushed along in the corner too far, what does any cat do? They start attacking. You think about the Boston Tea Party, all right? And then you hear these fireworks. This is the spirit of America. The spirit of our ancestors, the spirits that's in us. We're going to keep going. Y'all just stay strong. That's right. I knew what you were trying to say. So, okay. So, I'm just kind of looking over. Oh my gosh, can y'all hear all these fireworks that are going off? They're very, very, very loud. It's amazing. Oh my goodness. Did y'all hear about the pigs that are catching COVID, and UK bans free range chickens? You know what that means? That not only the people in the world are in cages, now our animals are too. They're putting everybody in cages. Our animals aren't even allowed out. We just need to go ahead and put masks on them too, right? How do y'all feel about that? Okay, Treasury Department begins to deliver stimulus checks. Okay, then we've got the magnetosphere issues. Do you know that this year we've got to make sure we break out that sunscreen, even on a cloudy day? Did you know that even in the sun you can get a sunburn? Windy days you can get windburn, but right now we've got magnetosphere issues, which means we've got chances for cancer to go up a lot, brittle bones. So what I need y'all to make sure you do is don't take that for granted. Go ahead and put on your sun hats. Use your umbrellas as parasols on clear, perfectly clear, sunny days. Be sure to put that sunscreen on, okay? Doesn't matter if it's winter. Do it, okay? Wish I had dragon's breath for my shotgun. What's dragon's breath? I'm gonna have to look that up. I can't. If y'all don't hear these fireworks going off, I'll be shocked. Great excuse to control our food. Yeah, Christy, that's what I'm saying. Everything is under control. It's a complete totalitarian issue. Okay, and I mean, you just look at some of these headlines. It's like this is crazy. So when I just kind of felt a little sad, about it. We've got these meteors coming in. They're telling us that there are meteors out there the size of the United States just floating around, and we've got Nashville bombers happening, and what do you do? And I just had to pray about it, and he said, just stick with me, baby. Just hold on. Just hold on. And that's all we can really do. You know what? It don't matter what's going on in the rest of the world. You got God. We're going to be okay. We got that peace in the storm. And I'm so proud to see where everybody has some backbone here. We're ready to do what it takes. Okay. And you know what? That's the Texas spirit. Y'all may not be from Texas, but it looks like y'all got it. And I'm so proud of y'all. Dragon's breath is like fireworks you shoot at your gun. That looks cool. Does it have like colored smoke or something? That's awesome. Good idea, 5 flames. Okay. You're so funny. Oh my goodness. You know what I will predict is that we'll get a lot more great news stories from Tucker Carlson. He's awesome. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, looks like there's New Year's. Okay, we got 52 minutes till somebody else hits their midnight. Going to be on the West Coast. Okay, now what I will tell you is that the worse things get, the more miracles are apt to happen. So you stay strong. Okay, you stay in that belief with Jesus. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and get off. I'm so happy that we got to spend some of this New Year's together. I'm exhausted, to be honest. I was drinking coffee, Coca-Cola, making sure that I was up for all of you guys. It's just I hadn't seen you in a couple of days, and I really had a lot to do. Oh, did you hear that? God bless you too, A. Storm, and God bless all of you. And I just want y'all to be safe. No drinking and driving. You hear me? You stay safe, okay? I love you guys. All right. Good night. And I will see you next year. This year, right? Bye.